There are 2 reasons your family doesn't want you to move abroad. They have no idea how amazing life could be outside of the US. Or they do know, and they don't want you to find out because you might not come back. My name is Jessica, and I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, you know what it is. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
I spent the last 8 years traveling and living abroad. 5 of those years I spent living in China, a country my homeland demonizes every chance it gets.
With China, we can't take our eye off of that ball.
Who would be tougher on China?
China is sending these chemicals to these drug cartels.
Would you allow Chinese firms to build critical U.S. infrastructure?
No, I would not. I spent more time with Xi Jinping than any world leader had by the time we left office. This is a guy who doesn't have a democratic with a small d bone in his body. This is a guy who is a thug. China. I know China very well.
It's trendy to bash the US right now too. It's provocative, it gets the people going.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
No, it's not. It
Gets the people going.
Natives and foreigners alike lament on and offline about crime and politics, and myself included. It's cathartic to commiserate together, isn't it? You know what might be fun though? Focusing on the positive. I've been back in the US for 6 months now. And it's not all doom and gloom and Donald Trump trials. There are some wonderful things here too, and in this video, I'm sharing my favorites. I'm Jessica, and you've reached the destination. It's beautiful here. The landscapes are so diverse, and we basically have every climate there is all in one country. Fun fact, the Chinese name for the United States of America is Meiguo, which translates to beautiful country. Nearly every day, I'm like, wow, the sky is so blue. I mean, I know that's because I was in China for so long, but seriously. Look how blue the sky is. Even on cloudy days, the sun still seems to make at least a brief appearance. And right behind me, right back there, that's the Atlantic Ocean. I can just walk straight in it from here if I wanted to. Maybe we should go do that right now. Let's go. In addition to all of these wonderful landscapes, mountains and beaches, and these things being in somewhat close proximity to each other, the wildlife in America is pretty awesome too. In this area where I am currently, it is normal to see owls, foxes, alligators, snakes, lizards, geckos, so many creatures just running around freely. Oh, and deer. How could I forget about the deer? The wildlife running and flying around makes things even more picturesque. It's definitely a privilege to be able to just take a short walk from my door and end up here. It's like this for a lot of people who live in coastal cities all around this beautiful country. In addition to these diverse landscapes, we have such a diverse population too. I mean, I don't think I'm going out on a limb if I say that this country is comprised of every other country on earth. There's at least one person from every country on earth in this country. And I think that's amazing. It's probably my favorite thing about the US. That is my favorite thing about the US, the diversity. Do you want to go to France for breakfast, Ethiopia for lunch, have a relaxing afternoon at a Japanese bathhouse, and then maybe go to Mexico for dinner? You can do all of that in one day in many cities in this country. Friendliness, helpfulness, kindness, however you would like to put it, nobody steps up to the plate to jump in and help out a stranger like an American. We are a teeth-baring, chatty-patty kind of people. I know a lot of people hate small talk, but It is the glue that is holding this place together. It may be surface level, but so what? It's so nice having friendly banter with strangers. You never know what someone is going through, so you have no idea how much a simple kind word or two could change the trajectory of someone's day. Festivals and events. From Coachella to Dreamville, from Mardi Gras to the West Indian Day Parade in Brooklyn. There are so many events like this held annually in this country. And these are wonderful things that people look forward to every year. Each region has its own thing, from the food to the music. So it's always a good time exploring different places in the US for a festival. Music and entertainment. This is the home of Hollywood, baby. We set the trends. I know. I am a fan of music from all over the world. And yes, there is great music coming out of many places in this beautiful world right now. But let's be real. There's a reason that artists from all over the world break their necks trying to get on US charts. The reason is capitalism. I mean, that's the reason for everything, but we're focusing on the positive here. That doesn't take away from the fact that we have the most bops. Hey, everybody calm down. I don't make the rules. I mean, let's give it up for Amapiano, and where would we be without Bad Bunny, baby? But
We set the trends.
inclusivity. Since we have every part of this world in this country, we have to make sure everyone can get a seat at the table. Now, the table has wobbly legs. The chairs are really uncomfortable, and the directions to the venue where the table is are unclear. But if you arrive, they have to let you sit down. U.S. interstates. You can drive from one side of this country to the other in any direction on relatively flat, well-maintained, and safe highways. There are gas stations and rest stops and hotels and yummy diners along the way. That's pretty amazing, and that makes road trips one of the best things you can do while you're in the US. I'm not gonna lie, everything here is a lot more dull and underwhelming now that I've experienced so many other places in this world. However, this is still home, and no matter what, I'm always gonna make the best out of any situation. This list was a little difficult to put together. I really had to dig into my optimistic positivity bag, and I came up with 7 things that I genuinely love about the United States. But I wanted to ask for a little help, make things a little more interesting, and see if my list matched up with others. So I headed to Instagram, of course, and I posted this in my stories.
Can you name one positive thing about the USA?
Thank you to everyone who submitted a response. Let's take a look at the answers they came up with. Canada is located on top of it. True. Weed is legal in some places. Yes. And it is becoming legal in new places every election. My family is here. Yes. True multidimensionality. I don't know if that's a word, but I like it. Multidimensionality. Yes, the US is very multi-dimensional. I'm not exactly sure what this person meant by that, but I understand. It is multi-dimensional on many levels, and I love that too. So much culture, food options, Southern food, its diversity. Spoiler alert, you're gonna see this one again. This is a winner for a lot of people, not just me. A lot of people enjoy the diversity. Tacos. This came up multiple times too, which is hilarious because this is in Mexico. But again, diversity. We do got some good ass tacos. Salaries for some professions are surprisingly high, even for fresh graduates. The person who wrote this is not American because see, this is a very non-native way of seeing things. Salaries here are not high if you factor in the cost of living for graduates. Not for everybody, of course. There are always anomalies where someone is super skilled at a high level in a field and they get a really great job straight out of university. I was one of those people. I had a really high-paying job straight out of university. But I don't think that's common, especially now. For all of my international friends, you have to factor in the exorbitant cost of living in the US when you take into account salaries, okay? Homeschooling is legal and there are resources for it. Yes, that is not something that I thought of at all. The size of homes in some states. Okay. Target, also known as Target. Petrol is cheaper than the UK when I last visited. Is that all I can come up with right now? Okay, my accent's terrible. Gas is really cheap right now. Yay for cheap gas! It is Thanksgiving week. It is Indigenous Peoples Week here in the US, and that is great because a lot of people travel during this time on those wonderful interstates, and it is nice to have low fees to refuel your vehicle. Good internet service, I guess. I don't know. I mean, what does that mean exactly? It's good if you pay for it. I mean, there are a lot of places where you can use the internet for free, so that's awesome. But good internet service is kind of expensive to me, but all right. Clothes that fit and are fashionable. Yeah, that is something one appreciates more after living in other countries. It is difficult to find clothes that fit well and are fashionable in other countries. Obviously outside of Europe. We're not talking about Europe, but other places. Yeah. The strength of the passport. This is a really good one. Passport privilege is a real thing. It is definitely something I have benefited from. And with all privilege comes a responsibility to help those who don't have that same privilege. Remember that. The strength of the US dollar outside of the US depends on where we're going with these US dollars. Cause right now, it ain't like it used to be. It ain't as strong as it used to be. Small talk. See, some people do enjoy the small talk. Clean air. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. The air is very clean and crisp. The skies are usually clear. It is funny though. I do want to share this one little story about when I first came back from China. I experienced the worst air quality I've ever experienced in life here in the US. I came back during the time when
it's one of the worst air qualities ever recorded. Images are startling, even apocalyptic.
They say being outside is like smoking 3 to 11 cigarettes a day. Wow.
The more pollutants in the air, the worse quality air people are up against.
You could not see anything behind this reporter this morning. The air quality in New York City today was the worst in the entire world. Even worse than Delhi, the Indian city, which is known for its noxious air. And in Times Square, tourists were shocked by the smoke. 100 million people here in the U.S. across 13 states are impacted, all due to the wildfires that have erupted in Canada.
There were like 3 days when we couldn't go outside. Like everyone was in masks again. And I thought, oh, it's probably not that bad. Oh, I didn't make it like 5 minutes. I went outside on the rooftop and was like... couldn't breathe. But yeah, there's great in the US, usually. Variety of music. That was on my list too, music. You have a variety of climates and landscapes from sandy beaches to snowy mountains. Exactly, it's the first thing I said when I started this video. Can you name one positive thing about the USA? Let us know. I want to see it in the comments. I made a video a few months ago that is the most watched video on this channel, and I was called a lot of names in the comments. A lot of people didn't watch the whole video. A lot of people just listened for certain things and went on attack mode. And I would love for those same people who called me a commie, the people who told me go back to China or go elsewhere if I hate America so much, which I never said that at all. I love it here and I hate it here at the same time. Okay, I did say that, but duality is a thing. Two things can be true at the same time. So what say you? Let me know in the comments if you can name one, just one positive thing about the USA. Let's spread some positivity. There's enough negativity going on in the world, and If this was too positive for you, please be sure to come back to this channel because there will be a counter video to this one dropping later this week. See you at the next destination.